Hi, I'm Tom Dorsey, President of Dorsey Wright & Associates. This is the DWA Minute. What we're going to talk about today is Egypt. As a matter of fact, by July 11th, we're heading right there, Egypt. And I want to talk about a little bit of stocks today as far as Egypt, and I want to compare and contrast a few things in Egypt. If I look at the overall Egyptian market index, used to be called the CASE index, the chart, it really looks like most international charts. It's been a very difficult time. I mean, it had a high of 7,600, a low of 6,000. It's now bounced back up to around the 6,500 level. The international markets fell out of favor for us. As far as our dynamic asset level investing, we've been pretty much out of international markets. The CASE's long-term trend has still held, no question about that. It's been painful for the traders on a short-term basis, but there's some interesting things that are beginning to happen here. If you look at the global Egypt small cap index, and when we compare and contrast, and one of the things we're going to talk about when we come to Egypt, we're going to be giving talks for the technical analyst societies, is how we model the world. And I'm going to talk about this in just a moment. But we compare and contrast relative strengths. If I were to compare and contrast the global Egyptian small cap index versus the large cap index, what we would do is divide one by another and then put that resulting division on a point and figure chart. What this has clearly shown us is that the long-term trend has been away from small cap and into the large cap type case markets. Now we model the large cap case, and what we do is we take that large cap index, just like kind of like the Egyptian Dow Jones Industrial Average, although many more stocks than that, and we try to model it so we'll keep you in the right position at the right time. One of the stocks that came up as a very interesting play when I was doing this, and I was looking at some interesting things, was Safeco, Saudi Arabian fertilizer company. Now what's interesting is the metals non-ferrous index has reversed up on its bullish percent index, suggesting the offensive team is on the field. In other words, as far as soccer is concerned, you got possession of the ball. And I looked in that sector and picked out a stock that looked interesting to me, and that was Saudi Arabian Fertilizer Company. I think you can buy that here and maintain a stop at 116, and that's 116 on Egyptian pounds. Another stock that looks interesting to me is Middle and Western Delta Flour Mills. Nice pullback to a support level. I'd buy that stock all day here, and I'd maintain a stop at 32. When you compare and contrast some things, now here's some interesting situation for year to date. If I look at the MSCI Value Index, where you buy the value stocks that are down and out, fundamentally sound, it's up 0.167 for the year. If I look at the Egypt EGPT, which is the exchange-traded fund that Market Vectors has provided for us, you can trade that in the United States. You don't have to be an Egyptian customer. That's down 2% for the year. If I look at the CASE index itself, your 30, which is now the Egyptian index, your 30 stocks similar to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it's up 1.48. If you look at our model of the case, in other words, we look at the case and we try to be in the right stocks at the right time, utilizing our relative strength, and it's a model that's automatically managed. In fact, I have that under management myself at Hermes in Egypt. That's up 5.24% for the year, significantly outperforming. When you look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, Dow Jones Industrial Average is down for the year here. But as far as the other indexes that we manage, the Dorsey Wright Aero Fund, Mutual Fund, which is a global balanced fund, that fund is up 2.37 for the year. So it's interesting when you look at the Egyptian markets, how some things have worked out well, some things have not worked out well. But when you model the market, which is what we're going to talk about, Sue and I are going to talk about there, that's going to be the basic fundamentals of our discussion in Egypt, is going to be how we model the world. And I'm going to show you how that has turned out to be up 500% from the CASE model itself, or the CASE index itself. That's all we have today. We'll see you in Egypt.